it around and play the street with it. Hold up, did I already say chopping up babies to pieces? Chop up the baby, chop the baby, chop the baby. Grandma looking, that's okay, granny.
Yo, family, if you love your nigga, hug your nigga. If that's your sister, hug her right now. Hug your family.
What's happening, man? Shout out to everybody, man, for tuning in, man. Welcome to my new segment of the conglomerate Slum World Media, man. Welcome to the world according to me. You feel me? Mr. Arrogant, Mr. Know-It-All, Mr. I'm right all the time. You feel me? Nah, but without further ado, man, thank y'all, man, for tuning into this channel, man. I just started this channel. You know, this is the beginning of the world according to me. Your boy, Slum World Ray, aka Project Pookie, aka King of the Slum Business. You feel me? Now, if y'all don't know, as those of y'all that don't know, today is Thanksgiving Day. And, you know, I just wanted to do this video for educational purposes to show my people, especially, you know what I'm saying, melanated people, you ain't supposed to be celebrating this holiday, gang. It ain't for us, twin. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? But don't take my word for it. Let's dive into the history of Thanksgiving and what it actually means and what occurred for it to become as relevant as it is today. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Again, this is my new channel, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to also, if y'all want to see reactions, if y'all want to see like other type of content, I also got other YouTube channels. But you can also, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to my main channel, which I'm going to leave it right here, somewhere up in this area. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be right here somewhere. But I'm going to leave that in on the screen and in the description for y'all to go subscribe. If you know what I'm saying, rock with, check out the my other content and see if y'all rock with that. It's more of like a reaction channel, but I like to do informative stuff too, but also funny stuff as well, like entertaining stuff. So go check that channel out. Let me know what y'all think. But without further ado, matter of fact, don't let me forget. Let's not forget to hype this video up, man, because that's a new feature that YouTube has right now, and you know, I guess we need to, you know, hype each other up. You feel me? So hype me up, gang.
Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up.
Yes, Lord. But yeah, without further ado, man, let's get into this video.
Let me talk about misgiving for a minute, all right? Got a second on that? Why do I call it Misgiving Day? A celebration of horrors. Because first of all, the good pilgrim fathers that you hear so much about were actually homeless people looking for somewhere to stay. Not that there's anything evil about that, because there's a lot of good people out there that's homeless today. But these suckers have been thrown out of Europe and were considered to be criminals. They didn't come over here to bring the benighted heathen the gospel dispensation and introduce them to Jesus. They got some money to get the ship, the Speedwell and the Mayflower, and the people who put up the money said, look, when you get there, send us back first. All you can take. And whatever.
Hey, for those of y'all who don't know who those people is that put up the money, let's just say they wear small hats. They're a subsection of the community. And they're supposed to be allegedly the chosen ones of God. Allegedly. You know, from his story.
else you can take to pay this money back, and we can make a profit off this venture. Well, Speedwell didn't make it, only Mayflower got in. And as Will Rogers said, white man said, the Pilgrims got off the Mayflower, hit the shore, fell on their knees, and thank God, got up and fell on the Indians. And that's exactly what they did. Look at here, brothers and sisters. I want you to check this out a minute, man. I know some of you already know this, but probably most of you already know this. Now, Dr. Felder and Spirit, the books are all everywhere. But it not hurt us to go over it again, because every year you go over to George Washington and chop down a cherry tree, which was absolutely never told a lie, which was a lie. You can't be a general without practicing deception. Diversionary tactics is a lie. You're making a person think you're over there when you're over there. That's a lie. You can't say this man never told a lie. I mean, generals have to lie to win wars. And he won very few. Didn't win any, actually, until the black folks got in there, but that's another story. And I'm not proud of that either. But check this out. These people come here now. They dock outside on the ship, the Mayflower, and 42 men of the 120 some odd people they have aboard, 130, 42 white males make a compact to decide what is going to happen in this land. They didn't ask anybody who was living here what was going to happen. They decided it. The white male ego decided it. Not that I'm letting the female off the hook, because I ain't. She spawns them, produces them, nurtures them. They get here, they're hungry, they're starving, they don't know what to do to survive. And who welcomes them, even after the Columbus experience? Who welcomes them? The indigenous red man. Come on in, brother. We'll feed you, we'll take care of you. He does it for a year. When that year is up, the Pilgrims go back out to their ship. After building them a log cabin, they put a cannon on top of that log cabin that is directed at the Indian village. I'm just using that term for convenience, because I don't like the term. I'm just using that for convenience right now. In 1621, they had their first Thanksgiving celebration for having survived, and Governor Bradford of the Massachusetts colony wrote that over 40 some of them had died, and scarcely 5 or 6 remained sane who was there. The rest of them were totally crazy, mad. He wrote that. That's documented. It's out the archives, and the United States government got it. By the next celebration of Thanksgiving, this is what took place. It was the red man who brought the venison and brought the turkey and all those things. You see these things with the pilgrim and his stove-type hat and stuff, and bell gun, and then the turkey smiling, walking beside him, and the Indians flipping and dancing because he's so happy this white man then brought him God and Jesus. You sat in the classroom just like I did. When they would talk about the pilgrim with tears running down your eyes, the poor pilgrim. I'm quoting in that prolific historian and writer, Professor Joel A. Rogers here. And he says that the early American whites were cruel. Connecticut whites massacred the Pequot Indians. Infants were torn from their mother's breast and hacked to pieces. The heads of the parents were chopped off and kicked about in the streets. Maybe where the Thanksgiving Thursday football game comes from. Governor Bradford wrote, "It was a fearful sight to see them frying in the fire, and streams of blood quenching the same, and terrible was the stench and the stink thereof. But the victory seemed a sweet sacrifice, and they, the whites, gave praise thereof to God." I don't think I need to say any more about Misgiving Day now. That was enough for me. They were some of the lowest, most degenerate people. They sent over here to these colonies were mostly criminals. They emptied out Newgate Prison, Oxford Bull, and a whole bunch of others there. The daughters of the American Revolution were whores, prostitutes, and harlots sent over here. That's what they spawned America with. And you wonder why the American government, even today, in 1991, can't do right? They have a criminal element in them. Why they can't keep crime cooled out? Because they are criminals. They're probably more tolerant of crime than any other nation in the world. Because in their subconscious, they know what their history goes back to. Billy the Kid and all those criminals, Jesse James were their heroes. All criminals. Ponce de Leon and Pizarro, hero, criminals, committing genocides against people. So that's enough about Misgiving Day.
Hey, that's crazy because, I mean, a lot of this I kind of understand. And the way, you know, this is back in 1991, y'all. Like, this is over 20 years ago. You feel me? So, and I grew up in Connecticut. Well, I was born in Connecticut. I grew up in South Carolina, but I was born in Connecticut up until I was about 13 years old, 14 years old. Then I moved to South Carolina. But the whole time I was in Connecticut, it was very much racially divided. Like, when I went to high school, not high school, 'cause I didn't go to high school in Connecticut. Well, for like 2 weeks, but not even 2 weeks. Wait, was I 13, 14? I think I was 15 when I moved. Yeah, I was 15 when I moved down south because I did 2 weeks in high school. And then South Carolina started school before up north. And I was so I was like 2 weeks into high school up north. But it was like the second semester down south. So I was about 15 when I moved down south. But the whole time I was in Connecticut, like the only time I really seen white people was like teachers, like in school. In my community, we had Asians and we had Arabs, but I didn't see many white people. And the white people, if you did see any, they was poor. So, I just had no clue that Connecticut was how it was on, you know, the racist type of time. Because as a kid, I didn't even understand what racism really was then. I ain't know racism then. I really never really experienced racism until I moved to California, to be real with you. But let's keep going.
Not wish me a happy Thanksgiving. Let's not do that. I know you mean good, but please do not wish me a happy Thanksgiving. Let's not do that. Thanksgiving was nothing but a setup for genocide. That's all it was. A strategy for the Native Americans to drop their psychological guard so the European could genocide them, steal their land, enslave their people, and pass diseases into their community. It is a contradiction for American Africans with all we've been through. Having suffered the worst human tragedy in history, it is a complete contradiction for us to turn around and celebrate with the white man the genocide of the red man. I'ma say it again. It is a complete contradiction for African people, especially American Africans, to celebrate with your oppressor their extermination of the red people. How they gave the red people diseases and enslaved them, significantly reducing their population, stealing their land, giving out false treaties. Please don't wish me happy Thanksgiving. Please do not wish me happy Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating today, you're celebrating the genocide of the Native Americans. You could cut the cake however you want to cut the cake. You can slice the cake however you want to slice the cake. You can bake the cake however you want to bake the cake. If you're celebrating today, you're celebrating the genocide of Native American peoples. I will not be party to that.
Hey, and let's be real, y'all. I'm gonna keep it funky, you know. Shout out Dr. Umar. But when he said the red people, there's a group of people that was like, you know, the so-called indigenous. And the indigenous people were melanated. So when they say red people, it's more like, I guess you would consider my skin complexion like red, because me personally, I'm like two types of the Indians. I'm black and Puerto Rican. As they say, black and Puerto Rican, which would make me Taino Indian, the Puerto Rican side. And what is my mom? I think my mom, I have no clue what my mom's side of the tribe is, because when I was growing up, I heard Cherokee a lot. But my grandfather, like that's my mom's side, but my mom's dad's side, I've never really heard them talk about, and they're from the South. Like my grandma lives up north, but she's from the South as well. Her family's from the South. So I never really heard my grandparents talk about, and they still alive, God bless, you know. I never really heard them talk about it, like tribes or Indians, but I'm really not actually that close to family. You know what I'm saying? But I am close to my father, my grandma, well, my mom's father's side. But yeah, I never really heard them talk about, you know, like our heritage and stuff like that. Yeah, but as y'all can see, it's Thanksgiving today. I ain't celebrating it. But I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't celebrate no holidays. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate nothing, you know, man-made. But I also don't celebrate my birthday, because this is like, according to the Bible, you're not supposed to. That's exalting yourself over God, and I don't never want to put myself over God or exalt myself, so I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't celebrate these holidays. You get what I'm saying? But let's continue.
God hates Thanksgiving according to the Bible. Every year, over 300 million people celebrate Thanksgiving, even though it has a dark history behind it. In 1637, John Winthrop proclaimed Day of Thanksgiving to celebrate the men returned from the Pequot War, where more than 700 men, women, and children were massacred. Thanksgiving is about the slaughter of Native American Indians, who are God's people. Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. The Bible does not tell anyone to celebrate Thanksgiving, and it was created by men who killed Native American Indians, who are Israelites according to Deuteronomy 28.
This Bible says Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days. Y'all know what that means? Thanksgiving.
Wait, what?
Them Europeans came over the seas, landed on our dark brown people's land, slaughtered us, burned our homes, then sat down to eat on our dead.
Nah, they was disrespectful. That's what that was.
Shout out to the quarter zip move. But that's not what this video is about. If you're a black in 2025 and you're still celebrating Thanksgiving, like I want to know why. You know, what is the purpose? Because when you think about it, you know, that's the celebration of the slaughter of your own people. And like, it further proves, like, you know, black people, they be so spiritual until it's time to do some spiritual shit. When it's time to separate yourself, like he said to do, y'all just act like you never read that part of the Bible, you know. And I know y'all know that Thanksgiving was brought about behind bloodshed. No, check me out, because Thanksgiving was the colonization, the dehumanization, the manipulation, the exploitation, the fabrication, the false celebration, and the forced assimilation that we love today. Shout out to Deacon Asaph. What are we really celebrating, y'all? And then, like, just think about the indigenous people on that day. Like, they're busy mourning, memorializing, and commemorating the death of their people, and the whole world is like kiki, laughing it up, having a good old time. That's not a good example of loving your neighbor like you love yourself. Unless, of course, you hate yourself. So, the Thanksgiving hits different when you know the history and you pay attention. You're like, dang, this is jacked up. Just because you change it to Friendsgiving does not change the original meaning. Go into your scriptures and look up the Feast of Dedication. That's coming upon us. Celebrate that.
man, I knew she was popping it. You feel me? Shout out to her, man. She was really, really giving some real gems because she said some, some real things that come out the Bible. And the first thing she said was, the first note that I took that she said was something to the effect of, we really pretty much cling on to our oppressors and we should really separate from them. But that's according to the Bible, because God said in the Bible we should separate from our enemies. But because we don't know who our enemies are, we love everybody, and that's inherently going against God. So at the end of the day, we the ones that's getting, gonna stay in these messed up situations because we don't know who we don't know who our enemy is. You feel me? So yeah, let's keep going though. That was a good one, man. Shout out to her. You know what I mean?
The African-American slaves would cook up a nice Thanksgiving turkey meal for their masters and entertain them throughout the night. They would force the slaves to entertain their friends and family, who would then vote on which slave was the best entertainer and which was worst. The loser were then sold at auction the next day, which they called Black Friday. The slave purchasers knew the day following Thanksgiving there would be an auction, so that go prepared for the sale. They would get up early every morning, hoping they would be the first one in line, similar to today's Black Friday. Hundreds would show up hoping they could be the first to purchase the slaves that were on sale. This was the one day out of the year that the slaves were reduced in price.
That's crazy. So after Thanksgiving, that's when you get Black Friday. And they was at my job and they was talking about how, don't shop on Black Friday, woody woo. Yeah, I'm like, shit, nigga, I ain't shopping on Black. I don't celebrate none of that, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, you feel me? If I don't celebrate my birthday, gang, I'm not finna celebrate none of that extra other stuff, you feel me? We not going for it, man. You feel me? It's like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna just be real, y'all. I genuinely just feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so locked into understanding and knowing who I am as a person, because at 37, more than half of my life, I went through it not knowing nothing about myself and who I am. Living off of the stigmatism and the assumption of what people think black people are like. And that had me, according to the Bible, like commit all type of sins, looking at my own people like they my enemies. You know what I'm saying? Treating my women like they not worth loving or taking care of or treating respectfully. It made me living in the world of today, in the society thought process of today, made me hate my own people. And it made me want to love and validate white privilege, white society. You feel me? But my inside never felt pure. It never felt like that thought process or mentality was actually helping me deal with my own demons. Because a lot of the times we be having demons that we deal with, so we try to find information and learn things to well, I'm gonna just say that's me. When life give me lemons, I make lemonade. So if I got a whole bunch of bad stuff going on, I'm gonna do some deep thinking and thought process evaluation in me and in myself about how I could become better. So with me thinking like that, I could never be okay with society always telling me as a black person, black mixed Hispanic person, Puerto Rican person, that I'm just gonna always be at the bottom. I'm just always gonna be at that mentality and understand, feeling and thinking like the way society looks at black men. That right there will have you crash out a lot, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't even. That's why I walked away from, the Christian church and that God, because I knew, bro, I was born poor. You feel me? Ain't no way you gonna sit here and tell me that I'm poor in real life, and I'm gonna be poor in heaven because that's who I am. God didn't fuck with me, and I didn't ask to be born in this situation. Bro, you ain't no way you gonna have me thinking that that is okay, and that is, if there is a God, which I believe there is, but for people that don't, if there is a God, you're not gonna have me thinking that, you know what I'm saying, that is his plan for me. So instead of me listening to, I grew up in the church, but I walked away from God. I walked away from church, and like, look my tattoo. What is this? A broken heart. I hope y'all can see it. It's a broken heart next to a cross. This was symbolizing the day I walked away from God, right? But me not knowing what I know now, God was moving in a different manner because he had me walk away from Christianity. But walking away from Christianity, I got closer with God. And just so y'all know, hold on, y'all, my light went out. Just so y'all know, this shit so real. I got the Angel Michael tattooed on my hand, right? I don't know if y'all can see it. Hold on. Like, these the wings in the back. These the wings in the back. And this is the angel. Hold on. It's like he flying in the battle, like flying in the war type. You know what I'm saying? You see his stick, him, his knees, his hand, his face. But in the actual picture, the afro wasn't the afro. The afro was like blonde, wavy hair. I didn't want that on me, so I said, give him an afro, make him black. Whole time I'm not knowing, because I ain't had no understanding of the Bible or nothing yet. You feel me? Whole time, when I got the understanding of the Bible, I start realizing what it was, and woody woody whoop. And mind you, if y'all don't know who the Angel Michael is, the Angel Michael is apparently the one angel that rebelled against God for God. When God gave up on humanity, and when God gave up on people, the Angel Michael he rebelled against God when God, pretty much he rebelled against God for the greater good of the people. They made a movie about it and everything. It's called I forgot, Legion. It's called Legion, but it got Tyrese in it. Watch that movie. That movie is literally about the Angel Michael going against God for the greater good of humanity. Now, all this stuff I'm saying, bro, this is spiritual. That's why I'm trying to tell you, I'm so spiritual within the word of God that I can't, like, myself won't allow me to celebrate none of these fucking idolatry, man-made holidays that literally go against everything that God said. But let's continue to the next video. I'm sorry for the little dialogue and the little diatribe, but this is what this is for. This video is to get our people to understand they don't need to be celebrating this day, man. This ain't for us, gang.
When you stop and think about, we got to change the books. The books is sexist. The books is racist. I mean, give me a break. Columbus discovered America. Everybody know that punk got lost. I mean, where was the Indians when he got here? If you can discover a country that's already occupied, I take it personal. I can walk out on the parking lot today and discover your car with you in it. Shut up and get in the back seat and teach me Thanksgiving. I mean.
Nah, that's crazy. But at the end of the day, he ain't lie. You feel me? Shout out him. I forgot his name, but he really one of them OGs, man. That you look up his content on the internet, man, you gonna learn so much. Cause OG don't give no fucks. He gonna tell you what it is on my mama and your mama. You feel me? Like, I'm not joking. He don't care. He gonna cuss you out and tell you, put you down on some real game. That's what I love about the OGs, man. The OGs really be, you know what I mean? putting young niggas down, man.
Well, we own the land. They own it now. They said it was gonna be around Saturday. Yesterday was a holiday too. Yesterday, like, man, we've been having some nice stuff. Hope it's been kicking like this. I found him, I talked with him. He said he had something else came up. He had to do something else.
You know what's crazy, y'all? I remember those times. I grew up in those times. You feel me? 1990, you feel me? I was born in 88. So I like about 2 years old. But it's like I was 2, but the 90s, bro, it's just, oh my God, it was a different time. But at the end of the day, you see how we've been celebrating this shit for a long time, gang. We've been celebrating the assassination of our ancestors, like as if, and I ain't gonna lie and be real, the fact that we do, like, these people don't ever have to wonder if they still got us mentally where they need us to be at for them to stay in power, because by us living a certain type of way according to what they want us to live by, like celebrating these holidays, the fact that we still do it shows them we ain't got nothing to worry about. We still got these niggas. We still got them. They still stupid. They still don't know nothing. They still just steal. They still are slaves. Now, when the marriage rates get higher, black families get stronger, we stop celebrating these holidays, and then they, let's say Christmas Day, boom, Christmas Day, boom. They got like everything go on sale because of the holidays. That's because they want all the shelves wiped out by the end of Christmas Day. So when they do those numbers at the end of the motherfucking day, and then the next week, they see how much they racked up on Christmas, that's how they know we still got them niggas, right? But when a subsection of the population decides we're going to take back who we are and we're not going to go for this, we're not celebrating these holidays, and when they calculate every end of that holiday day or week, right, and they see that they're missing, mind you, black women alone got a 3 trillion spending limit. Like, they spend a lot of money. Not 3 trillion, I'm sorry. Is it trillion? It might be trillion to billion, but I know it's in the B's. It's either B or T. Black women alone spending the billions or trillions. I think it's B, if I ain't mistaken. Right? So when they see that whole subsection of income is not there, they'll start understanding things that we not as stupid as they think we are. But the more every year we perpetually celebrate these holidays, is the statistical data for them to know we still got these niggas. But anyway.
Background. Because, well, I'm talking to the Christians, I'm talking to those who call themselves Moors, I'm talking to those who call themselves awake and conscious, whoever, and you still hollering this happy Thanksgiving stuff. Them was your ancestors that they killed. Them was your ancestors' land that they took. The reason why you ain't got no land today to pass on to your children is because they took it. And you want to sit up and talk about how it's okay because it's a time where family come together? You should have came together. Come together to teach the real about this instead of perpetuating a lie. Y'all disgust me, man. Y'all disgust me. Y'all out here faking it. Y'all don't live it. That's why I played the song that I did. How long will they mourn me? How long are you going to mourn your ancestors? Is it okay after 20 years? Is it okay after 30 years? Is it okay after 100 years? How long will you mourn them? Some of you niggas will forget about them tomorrow. And again, I say niggas for a reason. Because you're not kings and queens. Because you're not gods and goddesses. If you refuse to stand up for what's right. If you refuse to stand up for truth. That's not what you are. You ain't cut from that cloth. You have not yet risen to that level of standing and knowing. They put all kind of whitewashes, and same way they got these textbooks today talking about they want to change it to say that they were indentured servants. Really? So we just gonna cover up, we're gonna give them a little bit of the truth, and we're gonna cover it up a little bit. We're gonna mask it, we're gonna sugarcoat it. And that's what they still doing today. And y'all still going for it. You wonder why they killing us like dogs? Because y'all gonna celebrate it next week. Because y'all gonna think it's funny. Because y'all gonna forget about them. Because y'all gonna stop mourning them next week when the next Facebook are on.
Hey, you know what's crazy, y'all? She said some real stuff. Because she said whitewash. They whitewashing. So whitewash is a word that people came up with when people didn't understand that there's an actual word for whitewash. And the actual word for whitewash is iconoclast. So iconoclasm is when you change the faces of the colors of the faces of prolific people. I just used that word, right? And that's even biblical because God talked about in the Bible how the enemies of his people will iconoclast and change the faces of the judges. So when you see the picture of Jesus Christ and his white, that is Cesare Borgia, a homosexual who was in a gay relationship with Alexander III or Alexander the Great. You feel me? Whatever his name is. When Cesare Borgia died, his family hired Alexander the Great to paint a picture of God. And the only person he could think of to have the image of God is his gay lover, Cesare Borgia. They even got a show, a Netflix show about it, the Borgia family. Watch it. All of this is biblical. But of course, if you don't know the Bible and you never read it, you ain't gonna know this. But let's continue.
Listen to all the melanated family and mankind. Well, family, this video gonna be about Thanksgiving and why black people should never celebrate it. That's right. Thanksgiving was a celebration of the genocide of the Pequot Indians, melanated Indians, just like me and you. In 1637, the massacre was led by a general named James Mason. and they committed genocide. The Pequot Indians was in Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey. That's right. And these devils came in and committed genocide, just like they committed genocide in New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Africa, and everywhere else. The one that came on the sweet Jesus. That's right. Went in there and took the land, committed genocide on these indigenous people of America, not the Asiatic so-called people, not these $5 Indians. That's right, the Pequot Indian was already here, just like the Seminoles and the Choctaws and the Cherokees and the Iroquois and the Blackfoot, the Navajos, and on and on and on. The Incas, we was already here on this land before European invasion that came from England and France and Spain and Germany and everywhere else. That's right, family. So I don't celebrate the genocide of our own people. Thanksgiving. It was their celebration. None of our ancestors celebrated Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, or none of that nonsense.
Shout out Pops. He was really on that. But let's get into this next video. And I'm going to end it right here because we over an hour, or we getting close to an hour. I wasn't really trying. I could have did a stream for this. But let's get into this real quick. All right, so boom, we got Yellow Pain. And he got this song that he did that's based off of Thanksgiving, right? And I watched this video and it had me, you know what I mean? Like, I rock with it. It's so hard, you feel me? But let's get into it, man. Shout out Yellow Pain.
All this turkey, I can spend all this time scraping in the kitchen. But stop playing. Of course I cook this food. You, baby, go see who's at the door.
I know you waited for this one.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, this is a cancellation. I know this is the time of the year where the family members get together, ain't it? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, turkey better with the dressing, ain't it? Wonder if I put a little bit of blood on the turkey, would it elevate it? Bloody, bloody, bloody people of color. Cut them, shoot them, burn them, leave them to suffer. This song is not about pilgrims and Indians meeting each other and feasting for supper. This about millions of Indians murdered and villages burning and bleeding for nothing. This about all my descendants in Africa happy and acting like we ain't discussed it. Y'all be saying that ain't the reason we celebrate it. This about giving the glory to God in the time that we spend as a family, ain't it? That was so long ago, we weren't even alive. We gotta accept the changes. Sounding just like the white kids that be saying, forget about segregation. I can't keep embracing the demons. How do we celebrate on the same day of agreements? Murder and torture and slavery, they was really chopping Indian babies to pieces. Cut off the mama head, yeah, kick it around and play the street with it. Hold up, did I already say chopping up babies to pieces? Chop up the baby, chop the baby, chop the baby. Grandma looking, that's okay, Granny. Watch the baby, eat up the dead bodies. Yeah, yeah, and you thought the cops was crazy. I'm killing everybody. Oh yeah, I'm talking Nazi crazy. More blood than the Holocaust, but y'all still won't call it off. Kill so many Indians, they had to get Africans. That's how we got involved. Then they went and got involved. That's when they got our heart involved. Because of that reason, we made this a black tradition. Tell me who asked who kissed it. Ain't we the same people that was marching on Washington for racial equality? Ain't we descendants of civil rights leaders making sure they educated us properly? Ain't we the same people, mad at the same people for making a mockery? Then we invent cancel culture. So tell me why we can't cancel culture. Yeah!